everyone. This is a CBS News special report. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York. We are coming on the air tonight to report yet another mass shooting in this country. At least 2 people have been shot and killed at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. That is according to the city's mayor, Brett Smiley, who also says 8 people are in critical but stable condition. The shooter is still at large. The mass shooting happened earlier this afternoon on campus. There was a news conference by local authority moments ago. Let's listen in.
Okay, good evening. I'm Providence Mayor Brett Smiley. I'm joined here tonight by Fire Chief Derek Silva, Brown Police Chief Rodney Chapman, Brown Provost Frank Doyle, Governor Dan McKee, Councilman John Gonsalves, Commander Tim O'Hara, and Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. It is still early hours in the incident that occurred at Brown today, and so please understand that it's important for us to share what details we do have to the community, because there's a lot of fear and anxiety and unfortunately already some misinformation, but this is very early hours, and so please know that some of these details may be subject to change, that this investigation is ongoing. We will be as transparent as we can in the hours to come, and we'll provide regular updates, but we're going to share what we do know at this time. But please bear with us as we know sometimes these details shift as the investigation progresses. Sadly, today is a day that the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island prayed would never come. We've heard about horrific acts of gun violence and active shooter situations in other places, but not here. But this afternoon at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we received a call. 4:05 was when the initial call came in to Brown University of a report of an active shooter. I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, those stable, at Rhode Island Hospital. Those are the only injuries or casualties that we know at this time. But as I mentioned, and it's important to remind folks, these numbers may change. We are still in early hours, but at this time there are 2 deceased and 8 who are critical but stable at Rhode Island Hospital. Additionally, we do not have a shooter in custody at this time. There is a shelter in place in effect for the greater Brown University area. If you live on or near Brown's campus, we are encouraging you to stay home and stay inside. If you're not home at this time, we would encourage you not to return to your homes until the shelter in place has been lifted. We will make regular updates through all City of Providence official social media channels. That's where you can find out more information about the shelter in place, if it changes, when it's lifted. I want to commend the heroic work of the Providence Police Department, the Brown Police Department, Providence Fire Department, and the many agencies who provided mutual aid today. Brown Police responded first and then were quickly assisted by Providence Police, who fearlessly and courageously entered and worked through the building, and we'll hear from them in a minute. Providence Fire responded quickly as well and transported several of the victims. The fire department was assisted.
We're joined now by CBS News reporter Logan Hall. He is on the scene there in Providence. We just heard from the mayor saying that there's a lot of fear and anxiety. Logan, what are you hearing in terms of the students and just that community right now?
Yeah, that's right. Good evening. We got here about an hour ago, and this campus is eerily quiet right now. Something that's very clear in driving through the streets of this campus is that students are taking this shelter-in-place order very seriously. They are listening to campus police and Providence police when they tell them that this shooter is still at large and that they need to remain sheltered in place. So as we've been driving around, we haven't really seen any students. We haven't really seen any signs of life whatsoever, as everybody here on this campus is locked down at the moment.
I heard some other interviews of students just being surprised who were either in the building or around the building. How are you all keeping safe at this time, knowing, as you just said, that street or those areas are very quiet, eerily quiet?
Yeah, I think something that was shocking to hear from the Brown Provost just moments ago in that press conference was that this happened inside of an engineering building where final exams were taking place. at the time of the shooting. So for these students, this is something that was incredibly shocking. It was something that they were not expecting, especially when they're in the middle of final exam studies, prepping for tests, and going about what is supposed to be a very normal time of year here at Brown University.
Yeah, very fluid situation. Again, as the mayor stated, Logan Hall, thank you so much for checking in with us. I want to turn now to CBS News security contributor Sam Vinograd. Sam, we've been here before. What can you tell us just about what happens now with this investigation? It sounds like there's still a lot to learn, and it's very early. The mayor asking for patience as they try to figure things out.
Well, we've just been here too many times before, and as a parent, this is just horrific to begin to wrap our heads around. At this point, we are still in the threat mitigation period. There is still very clearly an active threat to the public based on the fact that the suspect is not yet in custody. What that means is that at this moment, various law enforcement partners at the campus, city, state, and federal level, we know the FBI is also involved, are working to identify who the suspect or suspects are. That will likely include eyewitness interviews with individuals who may have seen the suspect, combing video and aerial footage of the individual, both within the building, ostensibly there are video cameras there, and when this individual fled. And from there, trying to make an identification. We may at some point see requests for the public to assist with that. Unfortunately, having been involved in the aftermath of these kinds of horrific campus security events, we also know that there are reunification points being set up and various communications between the university, campus officials, administrators, parents, and students to try to identify who was hurt and who is safe and who is not. So that's all ongoing at this time.
And Sam, just help us understand, because we see all the images, the FBI, all these different law enforcement officials are there. This happened just after 4 o'clock. Are you surprised that they're not a little bit closer to having a suspect in custody and they're asking for this sort of patience? I mean, it is a big university, over 200 buildings, I think 150 square acres. But just give us a sense of how quickly sometimes these things come together and how this could be something that we're talking about even tomorrow in terms of maybe not having a suspect in custody.
I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, every incident is very different. Particularly, this individual had his or her appearance camouflaged, was wearing a mask, was in unidentifiable clothing. Identifying the suspect could take a long time. We've seen that play out in other investigations, like the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and more. So this could take time. I am heartened to see the various levels of law enforcement, federal, state, local, and campus cooperating, because each has unique expertise that can come to bear to try to identify the suspect, to try to ensure that the suspect acted alone and that there are no other associated threats to the public, and to try to keep everybody safe. So when we get an ID on the suspect, there's really no way of knowing when that'll happen, but we do know all the law enforcement partners involved have different assets and techniques they can use to identify the individual or individuals involved.
Yeah, and I do know at that news conference there was mention of someone as a male in all black, possibly that they were looking for. Sam, Logan, thank you guys so much for helping us understand what's happening at this hour. Our coverage will, of course, continue on CBS News 24/7. That's at cbsnews.com. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York.
WWL Louisiana Weekend News begins with breaking news.
I'm Melissa Curtis. Thanks for joining us this evening. Breaking news out of Providence, Rhode Island. We actually just heard a CBS special report about an active shooter on Brown University's campus. According to officials in Rhode Island, 2 people have been killed, 8 others are injured. The suspect is still at large. They do not have anyone in custody at this moment. Officials said that it is still very early hours in this investigation and details can shift, but they are holding a shelter in place for Brown University as well as the surrounding areas. We just heard in that CBS special report that this shooting happened inside the engineering building on Brown University, where final exams were taking place. Students were studying, taking exams again as classes are ending before the holiday break. Again, 2 people dead, 8 others injured. This began around 4 p.m. this afternoon. No shooter in custody just yet. Of course, we'll keep you guys updated as soon as we get more information. But again, this is very early hours in this investigation.